feel its absence. A voice, silenced forever. You are born of our power. Does not our very life force flow within your veins? We feel such loss. Yet within you we sense something else. Arrogance and satisfaction. There can be only one explanation. You have succumbed to the cravings of your humanity. You squander our gift to you. What was it can be taken away. This is what awaits us all, should you fail. Return their commander to us while time yet remains. Leave us.
It had been a long night, and I had been plagued by strange dreams, no doubt brought about by what had happened with the whole Mordenna situation. Although I was more than a little upset by the behavior that some of the men had exhibited, I ultimately decided against lecturing them over it. I mean, what was the point? Our ranks were filled with former soldiers, mercenaries, lab experiments, blood cultists, and at least a few people who were criminally insane. And as far as most of them were concerned, Mordenna had been one of the faces of the Advent Authority, and she deserved everything she had gotten. Fortunately, there always seemed to be some new crisis popping up these days. Just part of running an army of resistance fighters that spanned half the globe, I suppose. Beidos had managed to strand 2 more of her operatives in lost territory, and once again she needed us to extract them. I had to wonder why she kept sending those small, underarmed groups into zombie-infested cities, but really, I was just happy to have something else to focus on for a while. It was a welcome distraction. We had faced the Lost before. They were dangerous, at least in theory, but nowhere near as dangerous as a well-armed Advent patrol. I decided to use this as a training opportunity, and filled out the squad with some of our less experienced field operatives. Steel, Badger, and Fireball would use their close-quarters combat skills to punch through the zombie hordes, while Potato watched their backs from afar. Woe-77 and the Hunter-Killer would serve as the squad's heavy support, and, just in case something went wrong, Green Guard tagged along as the squad's medic. Bradford dubbed this Operation Bone Slayer. I'm not sure if it was a blunt reference to zombie slaying or some sort of weird euphemism, but I decided not to ask. We had gone on these kinds of ops before, so I really wasn't anticipating any problems.
A resistance scouting expedition led by one of their top people have found themselves stranded in the middle of an area known to be infested with the Lost. They're holding their own for now, but it sounds like things are getting ugly down there. The resistance is asking that we do everything we can to extract their people. The Resistance expedition is trapped not far from your position, and the VIP is using a remote turret to hold off the Lost. We only have one clear access point to the area, so get to the target's location and escort them back to the entry point for extraction. The whole place is overrun with Lost. Don't bother trying to outgun them. After you secure the expedition, you'll have to return to our original entry point for extraction. Don't get overrun. Keep the path back to Firebrand clear.
Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to episode 17 of my ongoing Let's Play War of the Chosen series.
The open spaces, the fresh air.
This is another mission type that we're already familiar with. It's actually the second time Beidos has asked us to rescue some of her erstwhile operatives. There aren't going to be any Advent operatives, it's all just going to be swarms of the Lost. So that means our general strategies here are going to be pretty straightforward. First things first, we're going to move the entire squad up into these apartments here. That will limit the number of directions the Lost can approach us from. Then we'll spend the next couple of turns pushing through the apartment building until we're within visual range of our objective.
This unit is relatively agile.
About half the squad will probably stay up on the 3rd floor here, providing fire support, while the rest of our squad pushes out to rescue the VIP and his escort. We're actually already pretty close to the VIP, so I think we're just going to push into this next apartment and then we'll make our move from there. Since it's going to take us a moment to get the squad into position, this is a good time to bring something else up real quick.
Location confirmed.
You may have noticed that I've been having some minor scheduling issues lately with some of the videos. I'll talk about that a little more once we get to my end of the month retrospective video. But for now, suffice to say, I'm going to be trimming back the length of the episodes a little bit going forward. Thus far, I've generally aimed for about a 45 to 60 minute episode length, but for now I'm going to be trimming that back to about 30 to 40 minutes per episode. But to make up for the shorter episodes, I'm going to start trying to release 3 episodes of War of the Chosen a week instead of just 2. Now let's put that subject on hold because we've got visual on our first zombie horde. Let's go ahead and start trimming down their numbers a little bit before we get to street level. We also need to block off both of these fire escapes so that there's no easy way for them to reach us. Since the Lost have no ranged attacks, that'll give us plenty of time to shoot them down before they can take the long way around. First we'll move Green Guard into position here to block this fire escape. And he'll go ahead and take a few shots at the Lost while he has the chance.
X-ray neutralized. Target eliminated.
That's 2 down, plus a bonus ability point. And now let's go ahead and sprint the Hunter-Killer across the apartment to block up the other fire escape.
I hope you can keep up.
You've gotta love those rocket feet. Looks like we just triggered another horde, but since we've already got both fire escapes blocked, that shouldn't really be a problem. We don't have to worry about the Lost getting up here this turn, so we'll just spend the rest of our actions getting the squad into position.
Already there. Will do.
Roger that.
Okay, we've got 3 more turns to get to the VIP, so let's get back to taking out these zombies. We'll start off by having Potato take out that wounded one with his pistol.
There you go.
Now let's see if Green Guard can clear out a couple with his magnetic rifle. Well, definitely not what I was going for, but we'll live. Let's go ahead and have Potato keep whittling at these guys a bit. There we go.
Big deal.
And now I think it's time for the Spark to start pushing up towards the VIP.
Doesn't seem all that difficult to me. to reload some killed. Should I double check that for you?
Oh, and of course we've still got at least one or two lost back in the building over here. But our rangers should be able to take care of that for us.
If only Advent. This weapon is empty. Give me a minute.
Let's go ahead and bring the rest of the squad down to street level. Clear out the rest of the lost that are within sprinting range. And then next turn we'll continue pushing towards the VIP.
On the move.
Looks like we triggered one more lost. He's all by himself, but because he's a brute subtype, he's got a whole lot of hit points. Woe will go ahead and start chipping away at his health bar, but I'm not sure if we'll actually be able to drop him this turn. And now Steel Badger over here can take a shot at this lost. If we're lucky, he'll drop it with a critical hit, but otherwise we're going to have to bring Fireball down to finish the job. Alright, let's get Fireball down there.
Closing on target position now.
Oh, and Potato still has action points, so let's see if he can drop that brute with his sniper rifle. Very nice.
Happy now? Scanning.
Now Fireball can finish off this zombie over here, and I think that actually clears the battlefield for the moment.
Hostile neutralized. Affirmative. Covering now.
Well, except for that one.
Enemy is still up.
The expedition has limited ammo reserves. If that turret runs out, the Lost are going to make quick work of them. We need to reach the group before that happens.
Okay, only 2 more turns to get to the VIP, so let's start pushing up more aggressively. We'll leave Potato and Green Guard in elevated positions to provide covering fire, but otherwise everyone else is going to start pushing towards that car.
Rock and roll. Got it covered.
I'm actually going to push the Spark up front. I'm not sure if those things can pick up unconscious soldiers, but I figure it's worth a shot.
Heading out.
Oh, right, and let's take care of this guy before I forget about him.
Hostile terminated. Got it covered.
Alright, everyone, prep for incoming.
Confirmed.
Affirmative. Covering now.
Sounds like a job for a turret.
Come get some.
Wow, that automated turret doesn't work very well, does it? Fortunately, our guys were waiting for something like this to happen.
Hostiles pacified.
Will the death of this one change anything?
Get it together. They're almost out of ammo for the turret, Commander. We have to get moving.
Alright, someone's got to trigger the VIP this turn, so let's clear out this horde as quickly as we can. We'll start by having Potato provide some long-range support. That's one.
Okay, so I got one. Oh yeah.
That's two.
Big deal.
That's three.
One down, thousands to go.
And four. And now he's got to spend an action to reload, so he's done for the turn.
Do this.
Now we'll go ahead and start pushing the spark up.
I'm compelled to agree.
But we're not actually going to dash in there until we're sure we can take out those other two lost.
Overwatch.
The spark can drop one of them on its own,
It's dead.
but the other one's got too much health to take out in one shot, so we're going to have to bring some of our other guys up to help.
Heading there now.
Woe moves up and softens up the last of the zombies, and now the spark can actually finish it off with another burst. And that clears the horde, so
Efficiency is my sunfire bullets, or light, and sometimes plasma. Did I mention I need ammo?
let's go ahead and grab the VIP, and then we need to book it to the exit zone.
The VIP is secure, Commander. If we can spare the manpower, we should try to bring the escort in as well. Without the VIP manning the turret controls, there's nothing keeping the Lost from overrunning this area. They're already closing in.
Whoops, I knew there were going to be reinforcements, I just didn't realize they'd show up immediately. Let's start sprinting the VIP out of there and bring up the rest of the squad so we can do something about this new horde.
Position confirmed.
That takes care of one of them, but now Fireball needs to reload.
All out. Ready to engage.
Green Guard's too far away from the action, so let's start bringing him up as well.
On the move.
Well, unfortunately that triggered another horde. Not quite the result we were going for. We'll set our last two guys on Overwatch and hope for the best.
Moving to Overwatch. Shot failed to connect. Firebrand is in position. Get back to the entry point for extraction before you get overrun. We're picking up more heat signatures than the sensors can keep up with.
Oh, that actually wasn't too bad. We've got a lot of Lost incoming, but none of them have actually managed to reach us just yet. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the spark can actually pick people up, so we're going to have to change our plans a little. We're going to have to move Woe up so he can grab the unconscious soldier. The rest of the squad will have to hold out for a turn and lay down some cover fire.
There you go.
Reload sequence.
Meanwhile, the VIP will keep sprinting back towards the evac zone. Hopefully we'll be able to get him off the board within 2 or 3 turns.
Oh yeah!
We're not going to bother reloading Woe's gun. He's not going to be able to fire it once he's carrying that body anyway. Now let's get the rest of the squad into position, take shots where we can find them, and then get them all set on
Kill
Overwatch.
confirmed. Moving to Overwatch.
Come get some. Moving to position. Moving to Overwatch.
This unit scanners are active.
I'm on it! That is not
An
good.
efficient kill.
They're actually doing a pretty good job of keeping the street clear.
Enemy
But
destroyed.
there are still a lot of Lost hiding in those alleyways.
Come on!
Okay, let's start off by having Potato pick off a couple more zombies, though he is starting to run low on ammo.
Okay, so I got one.
Well, at least he can pick one more off with his pistol.
Happy now? Moving to Overwatch.
Now let's see if we can clear the street before Woe grabs this escort.
Hostile terminated.
Ah, shoot. I should have moved the spark before I fired. Now it's stuck there until next turn. I need to remember that this is a fighting withdrawal. There are infinite Lost reinforcements, so there's no point in standing and fighting longer than necessary. And now we'll have our Rangers start clearing out more of the zombies with their shotguns.
Target eliminated. Target neutralized. Draining ammo fast!
Badger managed to take out 2 of them, but I don't like his odds on these other 2, so let's move someone else first. In fact, let's go ahead and grab that unconscious soldier now.
Go, go, go!
And now Fireball can take out the zombies that are closing in from the flanks.
Got him! Burning through ammo fast. Let's rock!
These things are definitely getting tougher. Once I've got another open slot for a resistance order, I really need to activate the one that lets you kill any Chosen in one shot. We'll go ahead and push Greenguard up a little closer. Hopefully he can finish off these last 2 Chosen.
Target neutralized. Could use some ammo over here.
That will do it.
Hostile target down. My weapon's spent. It's killing time. Locked and loaded. Scanning.
And here comes the next wave.
Adjusting sights.
Okay, at this point both of the VIPs are clear, so it's time to start falling back. We can outrun most of these Lost, except for the Dashers, so let's see if Potato can pick those guys off for us.
One down, thousands to go. Big deal.
Poor Potato, so jaded, but still very effective.
There you go. Ready to walk. I'm on it.
I think it might be time to just have some of these guys start sprinting back towards the evac zone. Oh, speaking of which, let's go ahead and get the VIP a bit closer to the evac. And Woe won't bother with the fire escape. We'll just have him cut right through the ground floor.
Orders confirmed. Moving out.
We'll have the rest of the squad hold up near this car while we wait for the spark to catch up.
As a gazelle.
On your order.
Got it covered.
Scanning. Come get some.
Stomp, stomp, stomp.
Not good.
Missed the target.
Yeah, I think it's definitely time to go.
Menace 1-5, keep pushing towards the evac point. No matter what you do, you're never gonna make a dent in the Lost. There's just too many coming in.
Anyone who's still got ammo left can take a few parting shots, but anyone whose gun is run dry just needs to start sprinting towards the Sky Ranger. Potato will keep providing long-range support to get them some breathing room.
Got one. Big deal.
And we'll have the spark bring up the rear, since we can just repair that thing if it gets damaged.
They're as weak as ever. I'll need to reload. Father really outdid himself, didn't he? I'm reloading.
Firebrand is the VIP safely on board the Sky Ranger.
The VIP is clear, and Woe is close behind with our secondary objective. We'll have Fireball finish off this Dasher, and then she'll start booking it towards the Sky Ranger as well.
Enemies down. I'm running low on ammo. I'm on the move.
Actually, since she's still got one shell in her gun, we'll go ahead and set her on Overwatch. And for now, it's important that everyone takes at least one move action towards the exit zone, regardless of what else they do. As tempting as it is to stick around and milk this mission for extra promotions, I don't want to be here all day.
On the move. Affirmative. Moving now. Hostile terminated. It's still moving.
Okay, let's get Woe out of here. Fireball's out of ammo, so we'll probably have her start sprinting to the evac zone. Potato has to reload this turn, so he can't do much either. In fact, I think at this point it's a good idea to just have everyone start sprinting for the Sky Ranger. We might end up having to slow down a little to take out these Dashers, but otherwise I think we're going to be out of here within another turn or two.
Move, move, move! We've extracted the VIP's escort. Once we get him patched up, he should be ready to rejoin the fight. All right, I'll go. covered. Moving out.
I hope you know where I'm going.
Heading out. Packing it in. Overwatch. X-ray neutralized.
And we're all one move action away from the evac zone, so I think it's time to go.
Moving out.
It feels good to move around.
On your order.
I'm going.
Heading home.
Have a good one.
I'm gone.
All XCOM operatives are secure. Firebrand is returning to base.
We successfully rescued the expedition, Commander. The Resistance will be happy to hear it.
The Speaker commended loyal citizens today for standing up to those who would abandon our values for those of the old world. The remarks followed a moment of silence for peacekeepers slain by XCOM dissidents.
I'm confused. Were the zombies the Advent peacekeepers? I think that might be one of the less effective pieces of Advent propaganda I've heard so far.
Squad made it back whole, and the aliens paid the price. Great work, Commander.
Looks like most of the squad pulled promotions. Green Guard will, of course, pick up Field Medic. Fireball will pick up Shadow Step. It's tempting to give Potato Death from above, but for now we'll just grab Quick Draw. And the Spark. We have a choice between Bulwark or Adaptive Aim. Bulwark grants armor and lets the Spark count as heavy cover. Adaptive Aim boosts Overdrive. I do like the Overdrive ability. I just think it's too situational. I don't use it enough to dedicate a perk to it. So I think we'll go ahead and grab Bulwark instead. That's the sort of perk that can be useful for the entire squad. Operation Boneslayer had gone about as smoothly as I had expected. There had been one or two tense moments, but overall the men had comported themselves quite professionally. One of them even wrote me up an after-action report. It was a nice change of pace after dealing with some of our more, eccentric operatives. And speaking of operatives, it seemed like we had picked up a couple of new recruits. As usual, the VIPs we had rescued from zombies were so impressed by our operation that they immediately jumped ship, abandoning the Skirmishers in favor of joining XCOM instead. We could always use more engineers, so I sent the doctor down to meet with Lily, and then I swung by the infirmary to check in on our new soldier. Like Salviti, Major Luke Shotgun Winter was a mercenary who had been working with the Skirmishers on a per-contract basis. Fortunately, his injuries were easily patched, and he was quick to offer his services. For a nominal fee, of course. A quick glance at his credentials showed that he was more than qualified. In fact, I think he had more experience in the field than any of our other grenadiers, so I quickly signed him on. After that, it was back to my personal quarters to receive the spokesman's latest monthly update. It had definitely been a very busy month, but we were still managing to stay at least 3 steps ahead of Advent. We had definitely left a gaping hole in Advent's power structure when we had killed Mordenna, but unfortunately it looked like Dawnslayer was quickly stepping in to fill the void. He had thrown himself into his training and was apparently more powerful than ever before. Even worse, he was pushing forward with plans to undo everything we had managed to accomplish. Under his guidance, Advent was working on yet another propaganda campaign, as well as a renewed vigilance campaign, and they were quickly working towards once again recovering the data that they had lost during our recent attack on one of their avatar facilities. Confronting Mordenna had been difficult, in more ways than one. Fortunately, I had far less reservations about going after the Dawn Slayer.